Coming up is part 1 of the course from makethattrack.com. As a member of our website, you get access to all the links, presets, samples and loops, and also project files, including MIDI, for all the tutorials on the site. Enjoy this free tutorial and be sure to check us out at makethattrack.com.
Hey guys, welcome to part 1 of our Cubase Progressive House tutorial. In this video, we're just going to be setting up our basic drums and drum rhythms. And before we get to the actual drums, what we're going to do is a couple things here to just set up our project. So first I'm going to hit F2, and we're just going to adjust our tempo. So I'm going to click tempo here, and that's going to unlock it so that I can click and drag this. I'm just going to drag this up to 128. Okay, and we can hit F2 again to get rid of this panel. Now we're going to be setting up some custom folders here. So if we hit Control and P or Command and P, it's going to bring up our media pool. And by default, all you're going to see is audio and video here. And what you got to do to get some folders in here is just right click on audio and then choose Create Folder. And it's going to create a blank folder for you. And then you can drag your samples into these folders so that they're ready to use within Cubase. Now I've already done this for all of these samples that we're going to be using for this tutorial. Okay, so I'm going to close that and let's get back to the drums. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up a groove agent, and what that's going to do is allow us to assign multiple audio clips to the device so that we can use a MIDI pattern in order to create a drum beat. And we can also play our drum kit within a MIDI keyboard or a MIDI controller by using this device. So let's right click here and choose Add Instrument Track. And then under Instrument, we're going to select Drum and then Groove Agent. Then we're just going to hit Add Track. And that's going to bring up the Groove Agent for us here. And what we have is a bunch of empty pads here that we can assign audio clips to. And then we can click on them to play them. We can use a MIDI keyboard to play the corresponding notes that are assigned to each pad here. Or we can use a MIDI clip in order to create a drum beat. So let's go ahead and open up our pool window again. And then we can drag and drop different audio clips into these pads. So I'm going to grab kick, drag that over here, and we'll get our clap snare. We're going to have a closed hat. We're going to have an open hat. And then another closed hat that has some reverb on it. Okay, so now I can click on these to play them. We can use a MIDI keyboard to play the corresponding notes. So kick, if I press C1, would play the kick, and so on. So now let's create a drum beat. All we have to do is go over here and right click and choose the pencil option. Then we're just going to draw in a clip here for 4 beats. And then we can double click on this, and it's going to open up our score editor. So kick was set to C1, so we'll start there. And if I hold Alt or Option, I can actually quickly switch between the mouse and the pencil tool. So I'm just going to hold that and draw in some kicks. Okay. And that's going to be a bit loud here. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn the whole groove agent down on this volume slider here. All right, so let's go back into our score. Okay, so we've got our kick. Now let's put some snares in here. Okay, and our snare is coming in a little bit late. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag and select these, and then we're going to hold Control in order to bypass the grid and just drag them a little bit more to the left. Okay, perfect. Now they're in time. All right, so let's draw in some closed hats. What we're going to do is we're going to put 2 in here. And then for the first one, what we're going to do is we're going to edit the velocity down here. Okay, so we're going to have for each downbeat, the closed hat's going to be quieter, and then for the upbeat, the closed hat's going to be louder. So now I'll just select these, And then I can hold Alt and drag in order to copy them. Okay, and as we can see, the note turns from red to blue as it gets quieter. All right, so now let's get our open hat in here. We're gonna have this on every beat. Okay, and the same thing with our other closed hat. Okay, so now that we have our basic drum beat, we can close this. And I'm just going to click on this and press Ctrl or Command and D to duplicate it. Okay, and so now we can go back into our Groove Agent. Now we can fine tune some aspects of our drum kit. So the first thing we're going to want to look at is the volumes of our instruments here. So our open hat was a bit loud, so I'm going to click on that, and then we have some options over here. We have volume and panning, and then we have some pitch options here. So I'm going to turn down our volume knob here for this open hat. And same for our closed hat. And our other closed hat. And maybe just a little bit on our snare. Okay, next what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to transpose the snare up by 4 semitones. And actually, I like 2 semitones a little bit better. That just makes it a little bit snappier, a little bit shorter, and I think it fits better with the beat. Okay, now we can go back to our open hat. We're actually going to edit the amp envelope here. I'm going to click on amp here. I'm going to drag the sustain down. You'll notice an immediate difference here. We just want to make the decay a little bit longer, so I'm going to drag that out. Okay, so what we're getting now with this envelope here is we're getting a quick attack here, and it's going to emphasize that initial hit of the hi-hat, and then it's going to bring the volume down as the clip plays out so that the ringing sound afterwards isn't as loud. So let's listen to it before and after. Okay, and without the envelope. Okay, so it's just making it fit a little bit nicer and making it a little snappier with the rest of our kit. Okay, and lastly what we're going to do here is we're going to put an EQ on this closed hat because I like the reverb sound that it adds to our kit, but it's a little bit too bright and it's standing out from the rest of our elements. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on this and then choose Assign Output, Agent, Bus 1. Okay, and then we can go to our mixer here, and under the agents here, I can set an EQ. All right, so now if I play this, we'll see that we have only the closed hat reverb on this channel. Okay, so if I turn that up, you can really hear it standing out. So what we want to do is we want to just shelve off some of the higher frequencies here. Okay, and then I can bypass this to hear a before and after. You'll notice once it's turned off, You can really hear it stand out, and when I turn the EQ back on, it really blends into the kit better. I can bring this back just a little bit. Okay, next let's get some audio clips in here. So we're going to go to our pool window again. I'm going to drag in OpenHat 2, and it's going to create its own audio track here for us. I'm just going to preemptively turn that down. Okay, and we're going to have this play every 2 bars and just before the final snare. So I'll copy that over to here as well. Okay, back to our pool window. Let's bring in OpenHat 3. And as always, we'll turn it down. This is going to be on the upbeat. Okay, and then let's make things a little bit more interesting with a reverse clap sound. So this is just the clap snare that we have already in our kit, and it's just had some reverb put on it and then bounced down to audio and then reversed. So we're going to put this, just like with our OpenHat 2, just before the final snare every 2 bars. So I'll leave the volume up a bit just so we can hear it better, and then I'll adjust it. Okay, so I'm going to turn that down. All right, and that's going to do it for our basic drum beat. In the next video, we're going to be setting up the instruments for our song.
We hope you've enjoyed part 1 of this course. To continue, please go to the website and select a membership to suit your needs. Welcome to MakeThatTrack.com. At Make That Track, we provide everything you need to make your favourite style of music from start to finish. Our Getting Started series will show a complete beginner where to start and what they need to do to start making music out of the box. Once the basics are grasped, you can learn how to make the genre of your choice with everything that you need in the process. Want to know how to make that elusive sound from your favourite producer's tracks? Check out our How to Make That Sound tutorials. We take the guesswork out and show you exactly what you need to do to get that sound within a few simple steps. With tips on arrangement, mixing, mastering and effects, you'll have everything you need to prepare your tracks to send to a record label and to play in the clubs. Get everything you need to make the music you love today.